I found myself, misaligned with egos in the construction industry, misalignment with, being underpaid, undervalued. Everybody likes to have a little pat on the back, right? Um, you just didn't feel like your contributions really mattered, right? Well, one day my boss just popped off at me.
Mm.
I went into my office, called Taryn, my wife. I said, I'm quitting today. And she said, good.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Big Hitters Podcast. This is a very special episode because I'm joined by my friend Cory Williams, who's one of my best friends. He also is a big producer in many ways. He's a power networker. He has his own virtual assistant staffing company. He's a serial guy. He's got a lot of stuff going on. And he is a realtor by trade, but has his hand in many different things. So I'm excited. And he's also the man, by the way, that introduced me to virtual assistants overseas. So for those of you that are annoyed by all my social media, it's all Cory's fault. So Cory, dude, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining us.
My friend, it's a pleasure. It's great to see you as always. And I'm just glad that I'm not, in trouble by the Freedom Police today. So,
Yeah.
um,
Tell the people all of the different things that you do, a little bit of your story, your background, and what you're up to now.
man, I'm a little bit of a serial entrepreneur, and so I love building things. And so, like you said, I've learned ways of efficiencies throughout the years. That's how I introduced you, to the virtual assistant world. And now we get to live vicariously and learn about, what the Freedom Police is trying to throw people in jail for on any given day. However, brother, we've been on this journey together. God brought us together and he's guiding us through. Really, I just have learned over the years just to position myself as a guide. And so, I love the Donald Miller uh, story brand framework where, he just talks about how you need to always position yourself as a guide. Andrew, we've just got too many, egos out there. And particularly, you mentioned, I built my reputation in the real estate industry and man, it is just ego central there. It is just, kind of one after another. Look how much I did. Look how many deals I closed. This, that, the other. And really, agents trying to position themselves as the hero. And really, the story that and the what I've learned from God is that, you make other people the hero. You be the guide. You show them the way. The story brand, concept is a character has a problem. He finds a guide who has a plan and calls them to action. And then they avoid failure and achieve success. So it's an incredible way to sort of look at my story and the way that, I was sitting at a desk one day learning real estate nights and weekends and made that bold move one day to hop into real estate. And so, just sort of looking at ways in which, my life has followed that same path and really, guiding other agents, friends like you, through that process, coming from a place of giving, and in contribution and inspiration, to guide friends, family, agents, in my line of work, buyers and sellers, and whoever's along for the ride. Um, so just having a lot of fun on this path. I don't wear white boots and a cop outfit with shorts, but I'm still having fun, brother. So I'm glad we're on
Right,
this ride together.
right before this call, you said, I have a story to get, I have a story to tell. So what is like the thing that you want to share the most with our audience during this
Man,
podcast?
I'm telling you, brother. Have you ever seen The Karate Kid?
Yeah,
I- Is that a great movie or what?
that's amazing.
You know, my story's just like Daniel's, right? I mean, it's so similar. I just had to watch it again. Here I am stuck in a dead end job, want to support my own family. I had a dream. The truth is, God had a bigger plan for me,
Mm,
and it's kind of like Daniel Russo, right? He wanted to feel confident, he wanted to feel accepted, right?
mhm,
And what I found is there's so many agents out there in our profession that feel the same way. They're undervalued, they're unsupported, they're stuck, right? And I found myself misaligned with egos in the construction industry, misalignment with being underpaid, undervalued. Everybody likes to have a little pat on the back, right? um you just didn't feel like your contributions really mattered, right? Well, one day my boss just popped off at me.
mm,
I went into my office, called Taryn, my wife. I said, I'm quitting today. And she said, good. you know and that was really like the I'm like, I'm going to solve my problem. There's so many agents out there, Andrew, that I talk to all the time. They don't know how to generate leads. They don't know how to structure their business. They don't know how to close deals. They're feeling overwhelmed. Um, they just might feel like they're not cut out for this. Well, insert the guide, man. Right? For me, my plan was clear. I needed to find my Mr. Miyagi, right? Who can help me avoid mistakes? Who can help me focus on fundamentals? Flatten the learning curve of real estate. I knew houses inside and out, but I didn't know anything about real estate. The difference is the guide.
mhm.
Did you know Daniel was learning karate out of a book when he
I
met
didn't know
Mr.
that.
Miyagi?
No, I didn't know that. I'm laughing because my mentor, who taught me a lot of what I know about wealth management, financial services, he always used to send me the Mr. Miyagi meme, wax on, wax off, as after client meetings and stuff. So
I love it, man, because
yeah,
it's so true,
yeah,
right? Um, and there's so many agents out there that I talk to. Our industry is under siege, right? You got agents out there trying to learn how to do real estate from YouTube. It's like trying to learn karate out of a book, man.
mhm,
It's just not going to work. You got to have Mr. Miyagi there, you know? Um, so, I've walked the path. Top 1% of real estate professionals, I've felt the pain. Um, so, I it was like, okay, you find the guide. Now it's like, give me a plan, right?
yeah.
Mr. Miyagi offers a plan, man. Find that mentor, learn fast, execute like a pro. Um, so I've just really, as I mentioned, I've learned that positioning yourself as a guide is the sustainable way uh to build business. If you're trying to be the hero, and Andrew, you know this, man, better than anybody else possibly, right? You try to be the hero and you're going to fail.
Yeah.
And so, for us, we know who the hero in our lives is. It's not Mr. Miyagi, right? It's God guiding us and revealing to us.
Hmm.
Um, it's like, what's he say? I promise teach you karate. You promise learn. I say you do, no question. Deal?
Hmm. Yeah.
And then the rest of it. Wax on, wax off, brother. Um, so what I really love to do and what I've found is my passion is, to teach agents how to learn the fundamentals, how to implement proven systems, just the wax on, wax off.
Yeah.
We don't need to, you know, um, get into all these advanced techniques until you're ready, for the crane kick.
Yeah.
And so, calling someone to action, walking out of a toxic job, right? Making a bold move. Like Mr. Miyagi, he signed Daniel up for the tournament, you know?
Hmm.
Um, so just looking at how, there's so many traps out there. How do
Hmm.
you avoid failure? Right? I could have stayed stuck in my job, bitter, underpaid. Instead, I chose to change my path, change my life. Same as Daniel, like, could have kept getting beat up, but he stopped learning from the book and he embraced mastery and competence.
Hmm.
Um, if you don't, you're going to burn out. Does that resonate?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
I mean, you and Taryn walked with me through a season where I burnt out and I was needed to go to a mental health institution, and you guys were really instrumental in helping me get help. So, yeah, that resonates.
that's the thing with being an entrepreneur, man, with being up, at the top of our fields is you get burnt out. If
Yep.
you trust yourself, you're destined for failure, right? Just talking with a great friend from church the other day, right? You got to trust God across everything, or you're just setting yourself up for failure. It's not a matter of if, it's when.
Hmm.
And so, you just waste your time, your money. I mean, listen, we all want to be the hero, right? I was the hero of my own story.
Yeah.
And now I really want to help everybody else become that hero.
Yep.
Um, so, man, that's my story of how I got through here and what's sort of inspired me to be an inspiration to others. you know, Whether that's agents that are looking for clarity and fulfillment in the real estate industry, or, buyers and sellers that are like, we we don't know where to start. We don't know how to navigate this. What's all these lawsuits? Who's paying commissions? Like all those questions. I've just learned to position myself as the guide, um, to really just help people get what they want. So that's really the story I wanted to tell. I watched the Karate Kid the other night and I'm like, wow, man, this is just such a great story
That's why you're
of
bringing it up so much. I get it.
success.
Yeah,
You
I get
know,
that. I love
I
that.
mean, I just love it, man. Um, so yeah, so that's really the story I wanted to share. What else you want to
Well, the
cover?
topic of this podcast is the Big Hitters podcast. So I'm really curious to know. I mean, obviously, you are in the real estate space. I don't know that space well. What makes a big producer a big producer? And then on the other side of that, you work with real estate investors. Like, I'm always curious, like, what makes those guys tick? Well, we'll just start with the realtor one. You know, you come across them. What makes a good realtor a big hitter, a big producer?
Yeah, I mean, man, it really comes down to commitment. Now, listen, for me, the agents that I gravitate to, they just lead with their heart, right? They're in this business to give, to contribute, right? And so we've got some people out there that do a lot of transactions, but they don't have the heart and the want to serve. And they want to, be on the billboard or do those types of things. There's nothing wrong with people on billboards, but the point is, it's like those are the people that I want to surround myself with.
Yeah.
Mastering your craft. Okay. So you want to be a big hitter, you have to master your craft. Okay. And if you want to be a big hitter and sustain the ups and downs of, a real estate market, um, then you really have to build systems. You have to build systems, and most importantly, you have to follow them. So it's about building a great team. None of us can pull the wagon uphill by ourselves. So it really is about building that great team, building out the systems. You and I both are just, incessant about this, right? This is what we're doing to empower people, helping them build out those systems, helping them to avoid burnout, and bringing tangible solutions to the table that are going to help them accomplish their goals. So, you want to be a big hitter, man, you got to step up to the plate and you got to really build out your team, your systems, your area of support because it being a big hitter, you got to be a big hitter at home too, right, brother? You're raising a family. You got an amazing wife. We have to come through at home if we want to be a big hitter in this life because, rising to the top of our industry isn't pleasing to God. That's for sure, right? We have to follow his example and be big hitters in every area of our life. So, hope that gives you some perspective of kind of how I view that.
Two more questions. And so, one of the themes, the underlying currents of what we do and the mission of Virtual Assist is freedom always and in always. So, you have virtual assistants. I know you're using AI. What things do you do to create time, energy, freedom, and like what hacks, tips, and tricks do you utilize between AI, virtual assistants, and other solutions to free you up to do the things that really matter?
Yeah, I mean, hey man, one of the best books I've ever read, "Buy Back Your Time" by Dan Martell. Okay, and so I use a lot of those delegation principles. Where you've got your quadrant, right? Over here, you've got all the things that you do that you don't like doing and don't make you any money. And then up here, you got all the things that set you on fire and make you a lot of money. And so it's really about shifting and delegating all these tasks down here and, I making the time to do these things that you love doing and are going to move your business forward. And so, from a business perspective, it's really about applying those principles and, looking at, making sure you value your time properly. And when you know the value of your time, then it's easy to say no to things that are going to bring the value of your time down. And
Yeah.
so it's just a constant evaluation of, hey, are these tasks, that I should be doing or shouldn't be doing? I heard of this coach once that, made their people put a sticky note on the washing machine. And it said, this is a really expensive load of laundry that you're doing. Okay. And so it was like, once you understand the value of your time, then it's like, okay, I should bring somebody in to do the laundry or send the laundry out because this is a really expensive load of laundry. And so, knowing when to say yes, when to say no, setting those boundaries is, the more structure, the more freedom, my friend.
AI, how are you using it? How do you see it shaping your industry?
Oh man, it's incredible. You've got to know how to leverage it. So there's certain things that, AI is creating, house descriptions one after another, and they're okay. You've got to know how to leverage that and then, put your spin on it. But man, it is shortcutting when it comes to putting business plans together and when it comes to, let's just say I'm building my sales team, right? And I've got 200 resumes in a file and I can pump it into GPT and it makes a spreadsheet for me. The way I see it changing the real estate industry specifically is the AI empowered agents are the ones that are going to win. The reality is a robot's never going to be able to sell you a house. Okay. Like they're not cutting agents out of the real estate industry, no matter how hard they try. However, the ones that leverage AI to get the proper information, to do analysis for clients, to serve people, to meet them where they are the ones that are going to win in the future. So it's just leveraging AI as a tool and making sure that you're using that good old fashioned human elbow grease. So
That's great. Hey, Cory, is there anything in this that we didn't talk about that you wanted to talk about and didn't get a chance to?
brother, it's really great to connect to you. I just love seeing you on fire, man, and having a ton of fun. Every time I see the Freedom Police, I'm like, Taryn, look at this. Anyway, glad to be in business with you. More importantly, glad to be in faith with you and the time that we get to spend in fellowship. Hey, if anybody wants to find me, they can find me at Cory the Guide on Instagram. And if they want to talk with me, just pop in my DMs, man. Slide on in there and just comment and guide me. Or they can shoot me an
So,
email.
shout out to Cory Williams for showing me this app. The Blink app is amazing. So, if you are doing any networking ever, this is probably the best $7 a month I spend. And one of my favorite things, Cory, about this app that you shared with me. So obviously, like you can bump phones now and it shares contact. But what I like about this one, I almost always I say, please share it with me in the app because it creates like a lead list. So I went to a networking event and I remember the last 3 or 4 guys that gave me their contact, I met at this networking lunch I just went to, right? Dude, this thing is clutch. So game changer from a power networker.
So good, brother. Um, that's all I got today, brother. How about you? Anything we didn't cover?
You can get a virtual assistant through virtual-assist.co. Cory Williams is building an incredible realtor team, Blue Pebble Homes. I see him at our co-working space. Not only is he a big hitter in real estate, he's a big hitter in a lot of ways and is an awesome resource for you in any and every area that you could possibly think business-wise. So definitely give him a follow and reach out to him. And he is the man who got me into the virtual assistant space. So he's the reason that everybody's getting annoyed by the Freedom Police. So, all right, good stuff.
All right, brother.